Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Capital City Speech and Debate. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for filling out those forms and getting them sent to me very promptly. I appreciate that. I enjoyed reading them, or attempting to read them for some people, and going through just seeing how you feel about specific things and the confidence you have in certain traits and abilities, because that helps me out as a coach in order to kind of anticipate and figure out what you need to improve on and what I can do, and kind of steer these activities in the next couple of days to help both of us out the best way that we can. And if you haven't sent in one of those, please go to the first page in the first day of the camp, fill that out, send it to me, and then we can go from there. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce myself because I haven't done that yet. So the next slide is going to see me. I'm going to talk about myself. I'm going to give you some information about who I am, my credentials and everything. And then we're going to run into some activities today to kind of get you interested, or at least aware of the specific drills and traits that you need to use in future events that you'll be doing and deciding upon here in the next couple of days or a couple of weeks. So, moving on here, without further ado, I'm Mr. Proctor. There I am. There's a face to the voice. Mr. Cody Proctor. Cody's my first name. I hate it. You'll never say it, so we can ignore it. But, throughout the season, I pride myself in being very lenient when it comes to what you can refer to me as. A lot of the kids like to be as original and creative as possible when it comes to nicknames. So by all means, they could be Coach or Sir or Proctor. My personal favorite is Proc. You can drop the Mr. We don't have to be, so formal when it comes to that. If you want to get creative, you can take my last name and combine it with pretty much anything and everything that you want. You could do Proctocles. You could have Proctimus Prime, Crocodile Dundee, Procosaurus Rex. It could be Dwayne the Proc Johnson, or my personal favorite, Tupac Shakur. Any name, like I said, that you can think of. If it's inappropriate, just say it behind my back. I graduated from Northwest Missouri State University, NWMSU, woo woo, go Bearcats, a long time ago. And I got a BSED, or Bachelor's in Science and Education, in Speech, Communication, Theater, and English. And over the past 5 years, I've taught each of those courses, and this will be my 6th year teaching and coaching, so I'm brand new to the district, which is great because this is a good opportunity not only for me as a coach, but you as freshmen and sophomores, novice in general, when it comes to speech and debate, because this is a new established program. So we get to set our own traditions. We get to set the ground rules and lay the foundation down. So it's going to be a very exciting year. I'm very optimistic, and I'm very much looking forward to what we can do here this semester and second semester. In case you're wondering, my plan period is 5th hour this year. So by all means, if for some reason you need something, swing on by. That's where I'll be. I'll either be there in the lounge getting food, making copies, or frantically running around, dropping off receipts and making sure everybody's set to jet when it comes to tournaments. Because when season time comes, I'm going to be running around with a chicken his head cut off. But either way, I'll look calm, cool, collective, and in my suit while doing it. And then Cavalier time is, I believe, 3rd hour this year. A lot of freshmen and sophomores may have a math course during that time, but if you don't, feel free to swing on by. This is a great time to meet with me, to talk about your cases, to talk about your pieces, to help you with research, writing, etc., because that's what I'm here for. I'm your coach, and for a lot of kids, a second parent, so whatever you need, let me know. That's what I'm here for. A coach is to get you from A to B. It's to be, for me to make you as successful as possible. And that's what speech and debate can do. It's there to take whatever you're passionate about and make you the best of the best. And that's why I get paid the big no bucks. Now, what we're going to do here is some opening activities. Like I said earlier, these are to home in on skills that you will use later on in specific events. So without further ado, let's look at our first one. The first one I'm going to have you guys do today is called Hot Take. Now, back in my day, we used to call this soapbox. You'd get on a soapbox and you'd rant. So, do you have a pet peeve or something that you believe that others may disagree with? You can't think of anything? Write something that you care about. So, what are you very passionate about? What do you strongly believe in? This could be a moral ground that you stand on that a lot of people don't. This could be, like I said, something minute. This could be huge. This could be a big deal, a small deal. It depends. That's why it's called a hot take. So, if you feel celebrities shouldn't be idolized and that's something you're passionate about, let me hear it. If you think that, the Marvel movies are honestly a little overrated, then by all means, there's a hot take right there. So what you want to do is, I want you to rant. I want you to find something that just ruffles your feathers and record yourself, whether it's you writing stuff down frantically or it's you ranting and yelling to a friend while they're recording you on a phone or vice versa. Whatever it is, do that. Get your thoughts out on paper. Think of this like a rough draft, if you will, or just outlining, just kind of getting thoughts out there about whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you strongly believe in, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Then what you're going to do is write those down, just in bullet points. These will be very, very thin arguments here, okay? And only your strongest arguments or points on this issue. So you may have like 10 reasons why you hate this, or you want awareness spread in this area, or change here, or something needs to be done about insert reason there. Whatever it is, narrow them down, if you will. Because what you're going to do is, with this activity and a bunch of other activities that we're going to mention on this PowerPoint, is you're going to make Google Docs. So you can either make multiple Google Docs, or you can make a single Google Doc and have multiple pages on it. Either way, make sure you share that doc with Proc, that's me, huzzah, and it rhymes. That way I can look at this, I can comment on them, and then I can help you and make it more clear why and how these specific drills and activities apply to perhaps specific events that you're interested in. So, this is all it needs to look like. There's your topic, whatever it may be. And then I want boom, boom, boom. 1 argument, 2 argument, 3 arguments. What is your argument? What is your point? And then a sentence or 2 tops elaborating on this. Now, by all means, if you're one of those people that want to write paragraphs because it's something that you're very, very passionate about, by all means, do that. I'm encouraging that. But at a minimum, 1, 2, 3 arguments with at least 1 sentence elaborating why is that a point, why is this an argument, or why does it support whatever it is that you're standing on or against with this specific hot take. Now, the next one I want you to do is kind of new, and this is something that might push buttons, but that's the point of it. It's called correct social media discourse. Discourse is an educational argument between 2 people, and it's a calm argument between 2 people or 2 sides of a debate or an issue or a topic, whatever it may be. Now, I use the word social media because a lot of times if you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., people will just post stuff to post stuff. Half the time it's for a reaction. The other time it's because they truly believe in this and they want to put it out there like a poster. And a lot of times you'll find that there are logical errors with this. And that's the point of this assignment. Find a social media post. You don't have to include names or details or anything like that. And address what the post is trying to prove. Because what's wrong with a lot of these issues is someone will post something on social media and then it's just a fury of attacks in the comment bar. But that's not what it's supposed to be. That's not arguing. That's not having discourse. There's nothing getting accomplished there but just 2 people yelling at each other. And that's not what debate is. Debate is understanding what the other side is saying and refuting and or commenting to that. Just because you make an argument to it doesn't mean that it's over. They can comment back, and that's the point. You have to understand each other's perspectives. So, take this argument and prove it wrong, correctly, using proper discourse. This means you're disproving it with either logic, reasoning, and or facts. So, for instance, here's an example. Americans, I'm watching the #gun control protest from Italy. Take European advice. Last century, our governments disarmed us. Now, in Germany and the UK, they arrest you for Twitter and Facebook posts. Lesson: if the government takes your Second Amendment, one day they'll take your First. So, first things first, address what arguments are being made in that post. So, the only option that they're saying is that the government will take citizens' guns away. How you respond to that is saying, no, they're not arguing that. No one is arguing that we're going to take guns away from citizens. Perhaps specific guns will be taken away, but not all guns. Thus, your Second Amendment right is still upheld, because you do have the right to own guns still, just not specific ones. Another argument they make is if one right is taken away, others will follow, which isn't correct. And you respond by saying your Second Amendment right does protect your right to own a gun, but it doesn't protect your right to purchase a gun. Thus, the government has full rights to regulate which guns are and are not allowed to be sold. And finally, they say we need to learn from other countries about what decisions to make on gun policies. And you simply respond by, this is an example of fear-mongering, by saying that there's no possible option besides taking our guns away, and that other rights will be taken away if we don't agree with these. So, what I've done is I've broken down the post. I've addressed what they're trying to say or the points they're trying to make, and I've simply responded to them. Now, if this was a regular discourse, then the blue side would respond to my comments, and vice versa. But there's a respect. You see, there's a solid black line between these two arguments, and that's like think of it like a line of respect, so to say. There shouldn't be any raising of voice. There shouldn't be any, screaming or anything like that. It should be a respectable decision not a decision, but a response between both sides. And that's what debate is. Now, it may get heated sometimes, but it's nice to know, and it's very important to understand that we need to keep our cool. And if your opponent doesn't, that's on them, and it's only going to look worse for them and not for you. So, finally, last but not least, I give you an option here. You give your 2 cents. So, I'm going to give you 2 prompts. If you could change one thing in this world, what would it be? And we're talking about social norms like our culture, rules, regulations, laws, anything. If you could change one thing, what would it be? Or if you choose one theme, one moral, one quote that speaks to you personally, what is it? Who is it by? And explain it. And how can it apply to multiple people? So I'm giving you the option here. No more than perhaps a paragraph, if that, addressing one of these 2. If you want to answer both, you can, but choose one of them. So for instance, my quote would be, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off. A wise man once told me that. I didn't know his name. It was a random guy in a park, but this quote has stuck with me ever since. Basically, it means there's going to be hard times in your life. There's going to be moments where it seems that it only gets worse and worse and worse. But what you have to realize is, what defines us as humans is not what we do in moments of our greatness, but what we do at our lowest points in life that truly define who we are and what our character can be. So, this is motivation to say that, look, bad things are going to happen, and that's just life. It sucks sometimes, and there's really nothing you can do because it's out of your control. But you need to look ahead and move forward and learn from those moments and go from there. And everybody can relate with that. So, once again, go through those 3 or 4 activities, put them on a Google Doc, make sure to share them with me. So cody.proctor@jcschools.us. And then share them with me either by today or tomorrow. If you need 2 days to work on it, it's totally fine. And what I will do is as soon as you share them with me, I will comment on them. And then when we get back with my next presentation, I will explain how each of these activities, and use some of your examples, and how they specifically apply to events in speech and debate. So once again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc., shoot me an email and I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Alrighty, have a great day, and once again, need any help, feel free to call.